You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. My name is Arya Whitner, and this is Week 2, Episode 2 of the second annual Mae Young Classic. Thank you for listening. This week, we dive further into the first round with four big matches. So let's kick off from the beginning with NXT veteran Dianna Perazzo, one-on-one with Priscilla Kelly. Perazzo has wrestled on NXT, probably half a dozen times or so since 2015. Kelly, who, by the way, is not related to last week's Killer Kelly, has wrestled in WSU and in a number of WWN companies. Samoa Joe was the person sitting at ringside for this match. And these two, they were on different pages early, but they calmed down and built up a good little match here. Kelly took over with a pump kick to the face, which almost got her the win. As she continued on and continued hitting moves and continued getting 2 counts, Priscilla Kelly seemed to be freaking out as she was unable to put Perazzo away. Finally, Perazzo suddenly, out of nowhere, hit her side Russian leg sweep, rolled through into a Fujiwara armbar for the tap out, for the submission, and moves on to the next round. She broke down into crying as her name was announced as the winner of the match, and she'll take on the winner of Karen Q versus Xia Li. Zuexis was next, taking on Ariel Monroe. Ariel calls herself the Big Swole and has competed in Shimmer, while Zuexis has wrestled in both CMLL and AAA. They showed both Natalya and Cedric Alexander at ringside. In the crowd, Ariel Monroe was actually the wife of Cedric Alexander, and they had Alexander there with their child. Monroe had her hair pulled early, so she threatened Zuexis as to what would happen if she did that again. That ended up being the worst thing Monroe could do because Zuexis concentrated on the hair for the majority of the match, and seemingly every exchange would have Zuexis yanking on her hair at some point. The second time she did, actually, the crowd gasped, and Monroe backhanded her foe in retaliation. At one point later on in the match, Zuexis locked on the camel clutch, yanked Monroe back by her nostrils, which could not be fun. Monroe made her comeback and used an STO, but Zuexis got her on the top rope and won after the Spanish Fly. Cedric Alexander was shown hugging his and Ariel's child in the crowd. The child was actually crying seeing Ariel lose here. Zuexis mocked the crowd and will now face the winner of the Io Shirai-Xia Brookside match coming up. Reina Gonzalez returned to the Mae Young Classic to go one-on-one with the debuting Kacy Catanzaro. Catanzaro was on American Ninja Warrior and was shown doing some very impressive things in her video package, including one where she was doing pull-ups, but every time she'd do a pull-up, she'd also lift the bar onto a higher platform. I guess it's one of those things I'm kind of horribly describing, but you'd have to see it to kind of believe it here. Gonzalez was in last year's Mae Young Classic and said she was disappointed about losing in the first round. Hopefully it doesn't happen again here tonight. Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan were sitting ringside, and man, they really usher people in and out of those seats, huh? Kacy got in the ring by climbing up and over the ring post, which is not something you see every day here, folks. Reina towers over Kacy, a full 1 foot and 100 pounds larger than her foe. Kacy started the match actually the worst possible way you could start a match, period. She runs into a headlock that Gonzalez uses her superior size and strength to turn that into a giant swing. Kacy used her speed to try to make Reina chase her and tire her out, but it wasn't working, at least early on. It wasn't anyway. Kacy went for a head scissors, but Reina turned that into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Reina squished Casey like a bug here, but the announcers basically spent the whole match telegraphing the finish because they just would not shut up about what an underdog Casey was, how she was outmanned, she had no chance here. And then at the end of the day, shockingly, unbelievably, amazingly, against all odds, she pulled out the win. She used a springboard missile drop kick and a senton for a near fall, and then picked up the win with a roll up to the delight of the fans. Reina was pissed, but she put Casey up on her shoulders in celebration. Shockingly, she did not fall back with her into some sort of a suplex or slam type move. She did not turn heel here, and Casey will live to fight another day, and that other day will be when she goes one-on-one with Rhea Ripley in the second round. Main event time, a battle of veterans, as Ashley Rayne goes one-on-one with Mercedes Martinez. Rayne, you may recall as Madison Rayne, has had quite the unique 7 weeks. She wrestled for the Impact Women's title at Slammiversary. She had a match for the Women of Honor title, and she competed at All In, and now is here in the Mae Young Classic. Martinez was in last year's Mae Young Classic, going to the semifinals before losing to Shayna Baszler. She is an 18-year veteran, has wrestled all over the world, including Shimmer, WXW, WSU, and was even on the long-forgotten Wrestlicious. The Undisputed Era, all 4 members seem to buy out the entire front row just to sit ringside for this match. Without elaborating as to who he was, Beth Phoenix mentioned Ashley's husband, Josh, who is Josh Matthews, formerly of WWE, now with Impact. As Mercedes, actually at this point, was dropping Ashley on her head. Mercedes held Rayne up for the Davey Boy Smith vertical suplex, holding her up there for close to 15 seconds before dropping her down. Rayne finally took over on Martinez with a series of forearms and clotheslines. Rayne hit a flying crossbody and a roll of the dice for a 2 count, but she got caught with a running knee, and Martinez picked her up and dropped her with the Fisherman Buster for the 1, the 2, and the 3. And Mercedes Martinez defeats Ashley Rayne in our main event tonight. And Martinez now with an incredibly interesting second-round match as she's going to face Miko Satomura. And that should be a tremendous bout right there. So that does it for this week. Much like last week, and I imagine a lot of the first round's going to be like this, it's nothing over-the-top amazing. It's nothing you need to go out of your way to go see. And honestly, if you're not a completist, you really could probably skip all 4 of the first-round episode matches. But that's going to do it for this week. Thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you again in 7 days.
You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.